Good morning. Today is the 31st of March and it is Tuesday. We are in the topic factored form of quadratic equation. This is the continuation of factored form of quadratic equation. We have done enough of questions. We have already done, but still there are some few more questions which I would like to give you so that you become comfortable. This video is made on the word sums of quadratic equation. It is on word sums of quadratic equation in the factored form, because students are finding more difficulty in the word sums. That is why I am stressing more on word sums, okay, in order to clarify your doubts. We are moving on to page number 138. We are continuing with page number 138. Yesterday we have done up to question number 1. Question number 2 you can do by yourself, right? Number 3 I am taking you to question number 3. This question number 3, when you watch this video, again I will remind you, please keep the textbook in front of you, because these are the word sums and the questions used to be lengthy. So you will feel comfortable when you have your textbook, when you have your question in front of you. Alright, with this I am going to begin question number 3. Question number 3. Question number 3 says, a store sells about 30 hose. A store sells about 30 hose each week for Newton 100, for 800 each. Means when the price of the hoe is Newton 800, then his observation is he is able to sell 30 hoes, right? So the number of hoes that he can sell, number of hoe he can sell is 30, right? When the price of each hoe is Newton 800. A very similar question we have done in the previous video also. So you will not find much difference. This is the number of hoe that he can sell when the price is Newton 800. When the price is Newton 800. This is price. So I will write with the unit. It will make you clear. 800. Alright. Now see his observation. What he observes. How his sale fluctuates when the price of the hoe increases or decreases. Obviously, when the price of the hoe will increase, the sale will go down, right? So here, this is the first information, that he is, when the price of the hoe is Newton 800, he is able to sell 30. Is this okay? Now, the owner expects to lose one sale each week for every increase in the price of Newton 40. That means, when the price of the hoe increases by Newton 40, then the sale of the hoe will decrease by 1. For every 40 rupee increase in the price, for every 40 rupee increase in the price, the sale of the hoe will decrease by 1. Let us try to understand it this way. Price, and then the number of hoe. Let us see how it is changing. Hoe. Okay. The price of hoe is actually 80. When the price is 80, he is able to sell how many hoes? 30 hoes. Alright. Now the price increases by 40. 40. What the question says, for every 40 rupee increase, in the price, the sale of the hoe will decrease by 1. Since the price of the hoe has increased by 40, so the sale will decrease by 1. Are you getting me? Now, if this price increases by 2 times, if this price increases by 2 times, 2 times now, 2 times the 40. So how many times 40 has increased? For 2 times. Therefore the sale will decrease by 2 times. 2. Right? if the price of the go increases by now 3 times the 40, 3 times the 40, 3 times the 40, that means the number of go will decrease by how much? 3 times. Are you understanding this? Similarly, if I now increase the price of the go by 4 times the 40, 4 times the 40, then the sale, then the number of go, then the sale of the go will decrease by 4. Are you getting me or not? This is what is the meaning of the statement given in the question. For every 40 rupee increase, every time you increase 40 rupee price, the sale will decrease by 1. So 1 times the 40 rupee, that means sale will decrease by 1. 2 times the 40 rupee increase in the price, the sale will decrease by 2. 3 times the 40 rupee increase in the price, the sale will decrease by 3. 4 times the 40 increase in the price will decrease the number of sale of the go by 4. Clear? Now if I generalize it, if this price increases by 5 times, n times the 40, if the price of the go increases by n times the 40, that means the number of go will decrease by how much now? That means the number of go will decrease by n. So with our understanding, we have created a general formula for the price and also for the number of go. And this becomes the answer of your first part. Okay, we are asked to write an expression to represent the new price of go after n into Newton 40 price increases. So the new price, the price will become, this is the part A, this is your part A. Part A, your price, the new price will become equal to 800 plus n times the 40, that is we will write this as 40 n. Is this very clear? This is the part 1 of A. This is a part 1 of A. In A, this is part 1. Part 2, it says now, write an expression to represent the expected number of go that will be sold weekly after n price increase. So the number of go sold will be 30 minus n. Every time this price increases, this sale will decrease. Sale will decrease by the same amount. Is it very clear? So after this, now when you know the number of go sold and then the price of each go, as a shopkeeper, right, I will tell you the price of this marker pen is say 25. The price of this marker pen is 25, and if I am selling 10 pieces of this marker pen, what will be the income from the sale? What do I get from the sale? The price of each piece is 25 Newton, and I sell 10 pieces of this. In a day, if I sell 10 pieces, what will be my income from the sale? How much money I am going to receive from the sale? How will you calculate? We will multiply the price with the number, and we get the money received from the sale or income from the sale. Are you getting it? So same concept we will apply here, and we will get the function for the total sale. So in the part C, we are asked to write a function to represent the expected weekly sale as a function of the number of price of increase of Newton 40. So we are going to write the function. This is your part B. Part B. We are going to write the function. Now this is the variable you have is in terms of n. Therefore the function also will write in terms of n. Is it okay? So don't make mistake of writing this as x, because normally in most of the equation we are using the variable x. So sometimes we can make a mistake of writing this variable as x. Please remember that this variable should match with the variable that you have assumed. So the product of these two, this is 30 minus n into 800 plus 40 n. So now this became your function. Now when you see this function, you know that this is a quadratic equation in the factored form, right? And after this, to plot the graph of this, you have to complete the 3 steps, right? So first of all, we are going to complete the 3 step, and after that we will see, because obviously in the last part of the question they are asking us to sketch the graph, and therefore first of all I am going to solve this equation in all the 3 steps, and then getting all the results, so that we will be able to plot the graph of this. And then we have one more part of this question which we will answer after all this calculation is done. So let us begin the calculation. In the calculation, what do? When you have the quadratic equation in the factored form, you calculate the zeros, which we also call as x-intercept. Step number 1. Step number 2 is you calculate the vertex, and step number 3 is y-intercept. We calculate y-intercept. So let us start this. We are going to calculate zeros. This we also call as x-intercept. Always I am writing both the word, but for you, when you do, you can use any one of these two. Now this zeros or x-intercept we calculate by assuming fn to be 0, right? So when you have assumed this to be 0, I am not showing you the whole calculation now. I can use this part and then get the 2 different values of n. One value of n I will get from here, which will be n is equal to 30. Straight I am writing. Then I will get another value from here. Is this okay? So that will be how much? 40n is equal to 800. So when you divide this 800 by 40n, you are getting minus 20. You will get minus 20. Now since before this we have done so many questions, now you should be able to find out this verbally also, right? So we got the x-intercept. Next step, after calculating x-intercept, the next step we have to do is we have to find the vertex. Now we are finding the vertex. And for finding the vertex, the first information that you have to get is, you have to calculate is x value. For vertex, we always calculate first of all x. And this x used to be the average of these two. So this is 30 plus minus 20 divided by 2. Therefore, this will come as equal to 5. After this x is calculated for the vertex, you can calculate the y by putting the value of x in the original function. So you can calculate for, this is, see, I am telling you and I am also making mistake. We are so used to x. Therefore now, function at 5. 30, put in the original equation 30 minus 5, and then 800 plus 40 into 5. Am I very clear? Okay. Now you simplify. This comes as equal to 25, and this comes as 45 is a 200. 45 is a 200. 45 is a 200, and then 45 is a 200, and then 800 is equal to 1000. Is this very clear? And then you multiply and you get the answer as 25,000. 25,000. Is it very clear? Now, after you have calculated your vertex, the next thing we are going to calculate is the y-intercept. Now we are going to calculate the y-intercept. Y-intercept. Y-intercept, how do you calculate? By assuming x to be equal to 0. Right? Now put the value of n is equal to 0. N is equal to 0. Now this n will be substituted in the original equation. You will get the value of y. So n 0 is equal to 30 minus 0 into 800 plus 40 into 0. Is it okay? So this becomes 30 and this becomes 800 is equal to total 2400. Now we are done with all the calculation. After all these calculations are done, now we will plot the graph, right? We will plot the graph. This graphing part I will request you to do, because we have already done so many graphing questions. Is this all right? Now the part C, question part C of this is, part C question says, C. The question says use the function from here. We have to use the function to determine the price that will maximize the total sale. You have to find out the best price. The best price. Best price means the price which can give you the maximum sale, right? So, which part of the question gives you the price? Obviously this one. This gives you the price. Is this okay? And this price can be calculated from the vertex by using the n value of vertex. Is it okay? So n value of the vertex is 5. You will just put it here and you will get the best price. So best price is equal to 800 plus 40 into 5. So 800 plus 40 into 5 is 200, and this is equal to Newton 1000. So Newton 1000 chik tong chi is the best price which can maximize the sale, which can give the maximum sale. Is this okay? Here your assignment will be to complete the graph. Your assignment will be to sketch the graph. So thank you. We'll go to the next question. Now we are moving on to the last question, right? Question number 4. Question number 4. You can see here I have drawn a diagram, right? This is the playground of a school. This is the playground of a school. You can think of your own school. In our school we have a playground, right? And just imagine that this playground is divided into 2 parts, right? The bigger part is given for the higher classes to play, and this smaller part of the playground is given for the smaller children, right? So the total area is divided into 2 parts, right? And this is going to be divided by fencing, right? This is going to be divided by fencing. In this fencing, you can see that one face of the rectangle I have marked with a dotted line. That means this will be the open area. This will be the open side. Here there will be no fencing. So the fencing is going to be used along only the solid line. Along the solid line. Is this okay? Now let us see the question. Sonam wants to fence a playground next to the school and to build a dividing fence to make separate play area for younger and for older students. Clear? The budget allows for 210 meters of fencing. The total length of the fence is 210. So that 210 meter length of fence is going to be used along the solid line. Clear? Now the first question is, write a function that represents the total area of the playground. So we have to write a function for the total area. You can see the shape of this playground. It is a rectangle, right? And you know what is the area of rectangle? Area of rectangle is L into B. So if we know the length and the breadth of this playground, of this rectangle, we will be able to write the area. We will be able to write the function in terms of area. So let us do that. The total length of the fence we have is 210. Clear? So because this is a rectangle, so the same length will be used along these 3 lines. We don't know what length will be used, but then the concept is that the same length of wire will be used along the 3 sides. Clear? So I suppose, let us imagine that x meter length of fence is used along this. That means the same length of wire will be used for this and then also for this one. So let us write this length also x meter and this also as x meter. The total length of the wire is 210 meter. The total length of the wire is 210 meters. out of this 210 meter, this much of length is already used, right? Now only the remaining length of this, now only the remaining length of the fence will be used along this length. Are you getting me? So from this 210, how much length is used? This plus this plus this. X plus x plus x meter of length wire is already used. Fence is already used. So from the total length, we will subtract the length that is used. So we will write here 3x. Now the picture is complete. Now you can see here. For this rectangle, you got the length and also you got the width. When you use the width, please remember that you are calculating the area of the rectangle. So only one length will be used. Only one width will be used. Are you getting me? Because we are going to calculate the area of the complete playground. Therefore, the area of this playground will be the product of the length and the breadth. And the length is 210 minus 3x and the width is only x meter. Is it okay? So don't make a mistake of adding these three. Clear? Because sum of these three and then this will become the total length of the wire, which is called as the perimeter. But here we have to find out the area. So be very clear. Now I am going to add the function for the area of the playground. Fx. This is equal to length into breadth, and length is this 210 minus 3x and the breadth is x meter. So x into 210 minus 3x. Is it understood? Now we got this function. Now the next part of the question is, this was your part A, and now you have to determine the width. You have to find out the width that will result in the maximum area, right? So now what we see here is, because our function is coming in the form of factored form, therefore we will come as soon as whenever you see the quadratic equation in the factored form, immediately go for all the three steps. Because at the end, definitely the question is going to also ask you to sketch the graph, right? So you have to complete all the three steps. And when you complete all the three steps, after that, any question that is asked in the question or in the book, you will get from the calculation only. The calculation part will give answer of all your questions. Okay. So let us complete this task. We are going to find out first of all the x-intercept, or we also call it as zeros. Or we call this as x-intercept. 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 Now I am calculating x-intercept. When you are calculating x-intercept, you know that always you assume this fx as equal to 0. Please don't forget. And now the right hand side, x into 210 minus 3x is equal to 0. You know, like when you calculate the zeros or the x-intercept, you get two values. So one value you are getting from this part. So your one answer will be x is equal to 0. Another answer you will get from here, which will be equal to 70. Alright, I am not doing the calculation now. These are the two x-intercept. After this, the next content is vertex. The next part you will calculate is vertex. When you calculate the vertex, you know what you calculate first? First of all, for the vertex, we always calculate the value of x. And this x is always the average of the two zeros. 0 plus 70 divided by 2 is equal to sumchu songa. Gamchigo? Sumchu songa. After this is calculated, now the last part is what? Last part is y-intercept. 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 When you calculate the y-intercept, what do you use? Y-intercept. Y-intercept, it is on the y-axis, where the value of x is 0. So we calculate the y-intercept by assuming x as equal to 0. Please remember, these are the basic things, right? And then you can calculate the y value. So by using the value of x as equal to 0 in the main function. So this is equal to 0 into 210 minus 3x. Now this whole thing 3 into 0. 3 into 0. This whole thing will become 0 because ultimately you are multiplying the number by 0. So anything multiplied by 0, the product is always 0. So this is your y-intercept. Is it okay? You got all the things now. You got your zeros, the two values of x, you got the vertex, right? You got the vertex. Sorry, here we calculated the vertex, and then for the vertex we have to find the value of y for the vertex. We calculated only the value of x. I'm sorry, let us calculate the value of y at 35 is equal to, put it in the main function. The main function is here. So 35 into 210 minus 35 into, sorry, 3 into 35, 3 into 35 is equal to 35 into, this will be 105. 105 because 35 3 is 105 and 210 minus 105 will be 105. Now you multiply this two and the result is coming 3675. 3675. Is it alright? So this is the end of your calculation. This is your x-intercept. This pair of number will give you the vertex and this pair of number gives you the y-intercept. Now you will plot it and then you will get the graph. Am I very clear? Am I understood? Okay. So you plot it, and then after that there is one question in this part is determine the width. Which width will give you the maximum area? What is your width? X. And this width, the best width you will get it from always the vertex. Right? So this is that width which will give you the maximum area. Is it alright? Therefore, the answer of your part B, right, is width is equal to 35 because this gives you the maximum area, and that maximum area already we have calculated is 3675. Is it okay? So this is the end of your quadratic equation in the factored form. We have done enough number of questions on the number questions and also on the word sums. Now it is your part. You practice all the questions that is given in page number 134 and also in page number 138. And then after this your assignment will be question number 5 and question number 6. Question number 5 is the same type of question, exactly the same type of question. So that is your part. Question number 6 is a reasoning, which I have repeatedly told you. Question number 6 I will read out. Question number 6 says, y is the x coordinate of the vertex of a parabola is the mean of the zeros of the function. Why we take x coordinate of the vertex as the mean of the zeros. Look here. The answer of the question number 6 is, the question says why we calculate the x of the vertex is the mean of the zeros. This is the question number 6. I am teaching you verbally. Why the x of vertex, why the x of the vertex is the mean of the zeros. Why? I told you that we calculate the x of the vertex by finding the mean of the zero because this x, the x of the vertex is at equal distance from the two zeros, and therefore the value of this x is always calculated by finding the average of these two because this x is at equal distance from this zero and also from this zero. That is why the value of this x is calculated by finding the average of these two. Is this very clear? So this was the explanation of your question number 6. With this is the end of this exercise. Thank you so much. Keep practicing. Have a nice day and stay at home. Thank you.